Hello strange people, welcome back to the channel. I'm just out for a bit of a fitness hike. I've got all my camping gear on the back. It's quite late in the afternoon. Not 100% sure yet whether I will camp, but I haven't been out on the moors for a while, and just wanted to get a couple of miles under my belt with a pack on and just enjoy the scenery. We'll probably we'll go up to my favourite pond, which is just at the top here, and then climb one of the tours. This is Cox's tour behind me. We won't be going up there today. We'll probably be going up Roost tour, which is that one there, and might go up the staple tours as well. Don't know. Probably cook up some tea. Brought a little steak with me, so probably cook that one up. Watch the sunset. I'm in two minds whether to camp or not. I want to go for a paddle tomorrow, but by the time I've got up, got off the hill, got home, put the canoe back on the roof, it'll be another time of day, so I am umming and ahhing as to whether to stay out or not, but we'll definitely go up a couple of tours, and or at least one tour, have something to eat, have a brew, and just enjoy the view, which is what this channel is all about. Right, I shall bring you back shortly. Cracking view. Good to be out. I've had some right up and downs this last week or two. I thought I'd take you on a beach camp, go to the beach. As you can well imagine, living in this area, I know a few lonely beaches, isolated beaches, beaches that rarely have very many people on, and at night don't have anybody on. So chose my beach carefully. I went there in the afternoon. There were 3 people on this beach. Perfect. Anyway, these 3 people left around about 5 o'clock, and you know, I never get tired of looking at this view. I could be up here 100 times, I would never tire of looking at this. Beautiful. So yeah, they left around about 5ish. I thought, perfect. Tide will be in fairly soon, beach will be cut off, I'll be all alone. About, I don't know, 5:30, 5:45. 2 women turned up. I thought, well, they've probably just come for an evening dip after work or something. Didn't take a lot of notice of it. They'd been there about half hour. They started building a fire ring. I thought, oh, that's not good. And then the tents went up. So by now, it's getting on a little bit. And I came to realise that they were not going to leave this beach. It wasn't a big beach. Probably only 50 yards long. They were about 30 yards away from me. So I packed up all my gear. I didn't have a tent up or anything. Packed up all my gear. Went to go back, and the tide had come in. The water was waist deep. So I was not impressed. Not impressed. Had a couple mile walk back with wet kit. Not impressed. So that's only part one of it. This is the pond I was on about. It's a lovely spot, absolutely gorgeous. Brilliant views of the tors around us, including Cock's Tor right behind me. And out there, views all the way across, well, to the sea and beyond the horizon of the sea. I really don't know why people don't camp here. It's flat. It's I probably wouldn't drink that water, but it's flat. Terrific views. Never seen anybody pitch a tent here. Got to admit, I've never pitched a tent here, but it's one of my favourite spots on the moor. See the Tamar River way off in the distance. The sea out around Loo Harbour. Oh, Loo Bay. No, it's probably not far enough down for Loo Bay. It's probably Whitsounds Bay. Yeah, it's probably Whitsounds Bay. Yeah, really don't understand it. So the second one. A couple of weeks ago I took a novice group on the Tamar canoeing, and they were messing around in front of me, and I was just taking a few pictures with my GoPro, and as I was doing that, one of the canoes tipped over. Flat calm river, I have no idea, but anyway they tipped over, so I put my GoPro down and started, well, I was about to put my paddle in the water, and I realised that not 2 feet from my boat was a seal just looking at me. 10 miles from sea, but he was just there looking at me, and he blew like a whale and disappeared under the water. I've had some magical moments in the wild. Bears in Montana. That's the top one for me, being as I'm a bit of a nut for bears. I've been further up the Tamar and had an otter swimming along beside me. That was a great moment. But this seal has got to be up there with those two, really. Wonderful moment. Anyway, that's that story. Ever since then, I've been wanting to get back down on the river. I've had 3 attempts now, that includes this morning. 3 attempts to get back down on the river and see if I can catch this seal on film, because I've made inquiries and he's often seen on the river now, which is great. When I was a boy, the seals were on the river all the time, but in the last 30 years or so, they've just not been seen. Now, I have seen this seal once before, but from the shore, and it's quite a long way off. That was probably 2 years ago. So he's obviously a regular, and then there may be more than one. So it'd be nice to get up close to the seal again, not disturb him, just take some footage of him, some photos, and let him go on in peace. But every time it's been windy, way too windy to be on the water, solo paddling against the tide or with the tide and against the flow. So hopefully, if I don't camp tonight, that's what I'll do tomorrow. But there's more. Alright, well, this is Staple Tour, generally known as the gateway to the moors, because of the 2 large pillars that look like pillars to a gate. And to be fair, beyond here now is, well, very little. Roost Tour and White Tour over there. The last tours for a while. Just make out Fur Tour in the far distance. But that's still a long way away. And there's nothing much on the other side of Fur Tour. So it's quite some distance. And that's why these, quite rightly in my belief, is the gateway to the moor. Beautiful. It's easy to forget just how big Staple Tour is. There is a lesser, smaller Staple Tour, middle Staple Tour down there, and I'm not sure what the little one's called. Is it Little Staple Tour? It might even be called Little Staple Tour. I keep forgetting. This is Greater Staple Tour. It is actually, or Great Staple Tour, it is actually a big old tour. Next tour along is Roost Tour. Don't like Roost Tour. It's I'm convinced it's haunted. I've never camped on it and never will camp on it. I know Ant has and he was fine, but I'm not likely to. Not sure where to go from here now. We will go up Roost Tour. Maybe we'll go down to the stone circles, or maybe even we'll go to the Bronze Age village. I do love it over there. We'll see. No idea what the time is. I've got nothing that'll tell me the time. No, nothing. Tempted to go up Great Mist Tour and see who's camped up there. I bet there's some YouTuber camped up there. It's the river crossing though. Pain in the bum. It's King's Tour down there. Every Tom, Dick and Harry camps on King's Tour. It's alright. But it's not much of a challenge. It's a nice tour. It's not much of a challenge. Right, let's make our way over to Roost Tour. I hate Roost Tour. So, the third thing. Last weekend, it a little bit breezy, nothing much though. So I thought I'd go and camp on the far side of Cox Tour, watch the sunset. There's hardly a better spot anywhere to watch the sunset. Excuse me a minute, there we go. Hardly a better spot anywhere on the moor to watch the sunset. Beautiful spot. Not too far away from my car so that I could get back, get the canoe on the roof and go off and see the seal. Well, it was a little bit breezy and I've got some footage which I'll enter right now. Well, I'm very close to calling this. Every few minutes a gust comes in, it's mental. It's bending the poles on my tent quite dramatically. I am glad I didn't go canoeing now. I don't know, I'll probably got close to 2 hours of daylight left. I think I'll give it an hour and see what that brings. I've had to reconfigure the tarp slightly to bring it down because it almost disappeared off over the Atlantic. So I don't know. I'll see what happens in an hour. I'll give it an hour. Well, I was just about to say, I'm not sure whether to call it or not, and you just saw what happened. That was quite some gust of wind then. I think I'm going to have to call it. So that is only the second time that I can remember ever bailing out from a camp on the moor, actually having to pack up my gear and go home. And it wasn't even that breezy. It was just wrong place, and the wind was channeled. The gusts, the general wind was fine, barely anything. The gusts, wow. I think I said on the video, I think the wind's dying down, we'll be staying out. And within a millisecond of me saying that, the tent goes over. Brilliant. I couldn't have timed that any better. Right. Roost Tour. Yuck. So you go out on the moor in peace and quiet, and you can turn up meeting YouTubers. So we've got Ryan here, Ryan in the Wild, is it?
That's it. That's
Ryan in the Wild. Down here, already in her tent, it's Karen in the Wild. And I've got no doubt this chap's somewhere in the wild as well.
Kernowcamps.
Kernowcamps?
Kernowcamps, not in the wild.
Ah,
Well, I am.
so we've got Kernowcamps. That's a proper job name, that is.
Isn't it just?
Ryan in the Wild, and Karen in the Wild, and Doug in the Wild.
Dave
That's
in the wild.
Dave.
Dave.
That's Dave covered in muck.
Dave. Dave's a Jack Russell. Right, proper job. I've got a steak in the back here.
I might maybe, that's right, next
Well, I'll come back over to Staple Tour. Ryan and where are they? They're there somewhere. Ryan and Daniel, I think he's called from Kernowcamps. We'll be staying up here tonight. I might stop and have a brew with them and then make my way off because I really want to go canoeing. But it has been nice to meet them and nice to meet Karen at last. Mate's tall. Her's tall. But yeah, so it was nice to meet them. And Karen's over on Rush Tour Camp. Lads will camp here. And I shall make my way off. Although I shall have a brew, like I said. Right, catch you in a mo. Right, well I've had a brew and natter with the lads. I'm Dave and Daniel, or there's Dave, look, coming out of the tent.
Word I'm leaving him.
Yeah, Dave and Daniel got a nice little nature hike there, and Ryan's in a homemade tarp thing, which you wouldn't catch many of us in, especially with the slugs like they are. Every man and me, Kimosabi. It's been a pleasure meeting you at long last.
Yeah, you too, mate.
And have a great evening up here.
Yeah, we'll do. Cheers for the company. Appreciate it.
Ah, that's right.
Absolutely.
We'll have to organise a camp sometime.
Yeah, definitely.
Proper
That'd
one.
be good. Now that we know you're not a weirdo. So.
I am a weirdo. I'm from bloody Cornwall, mate. I'm a bloody weirdo. Right.
Proper.
It's been good to meet you, lads.
Yeah,
Right, you take it easy, mate.
Yeah, you too.
Safe journey back.
Thank you.
See you later.
Cheers.